good. So I'm going to review this new TFO Elevare rod today. I've been fishing this particular one for about a month really hard. I have both one of the 3 weights and the 4 weight, and I really have enjoyed fishing the 11-foot 4 weight. And I wanted to fish this thing pretty hard before I reviewed it, and it's been a very impressive rod. I'm testing this one in particular because I think there's kind of a hole in that upper middle end tight line rod category. And also my tight line fishing has changed a bit over the years and what I look for in a rod. And I thought this was a great opportunity to review this product. So it's the TFO Elevare. I'll start with a couple of the cool things about it, things I really like, and then the one downside I think. So it has recoil guides, so you can see those guides are flexible right there. And so when it comes to chipping ice out of them, you're not going to see breakage there. And it's got single foot guides all the way up, very light. And for a 4 weight in general, I tend to find it casts the big stuff. This is actually what I'm throwing today, a big jig streamer right there. And that's why I've really gravitated towards these longer, heavier rods, because I fish more of like a Western tight line style. I throw a lot of big stonefly nymphs, a lot of sculpin, but I also need that rod to be able to back it out and fish larva and small Perdigon style nymphs too. And the 4 weight's done a pretty darn good job of that. Let's just take a quick look just at the reel seat. I do like the little fighting butt right there. That makes a really good kickstand just for when I set the rod up. These down locking reel seats on these Euro rods don't balance very well, but that fighting butt always allows me to just set the rod down with good stability. As far as my setup goes, Lamson Guru E reel, running just a mono line. I won't detail out my leader and all that. We can do that on a different video. But there's a good look at the rod. I've been really happy with it. It's been very durable. We beat it up really good. I've actually driven around with it in my car, in my boat, let a lot of clients fish it. The only downside, in my opinion, I found so far is this kind of comes with a pretty cheap rod tube. It's not labeled on the end. That's kind of disappointing. So I guess the money's in the rod, but it does come with a Cordura tube. It does come with a pretty decent sock, as you can see there, but you're not going to get that fancy aluminum tube that you are on a lot of the higher end competing rods. So I'll do a little fishing today. I'll throw the head cam on, kind of show you how I do it. I'm actually going to fish out of the boat quite a bit today and throw a streamer just on my mono rig so that I can control that streamer in those little hidey holes right along the bank.
Yeah.
No. Oh, was I? No. I was talking to Trev.
Yesterday. I got a nice bull that was like 21, really skinny, and then Sean got a nice bull too. And we both got grabs, which was pretty sweet.
I really want to go do that.
I would say, yeah, wait. I mean, I think that it gets
Let's squeeze in a little bit.
The longer it goes on. Like, April seems to be a really slept-on month over there for the bulls.
There's good fish, big fish. That's a good one, dude. That fly was like not even moving. That fly was just hovering right on the bank, man. I just held that, the old 11-footer. God, that was 2 fish back to back. Yeah.
You see a cut in the back?
Yeah, that's a big old battle axe right there. That's a big fish. Yeah.
Oh, that's a dino.
That is a dino. That's an old trout, boys.
He's all tore up.
Yeah, we're just gonna net him on the move. Oh, come on! There. That's like all that rod's got. Oh, that's a, look at that. That's a streamer eater right against the shore. Beautiful. All right, so I'm just gonna explain to people just watching this video, or maybe you're just interested in fishing, maybe you're reviewing the rod, but one thing we love to do when the river's high and flooded is we'll take our tight line rods, especially these stronger ones like 4 weights, and we'll just throw these jig streamers and jig sculpins right on there. We can twitch, we can dead stick, I can strip it right through these rock piles right here. Boy, is this fishy, holy smokes. And I can twitch and strip, and it's really fast to handle. It's really fast to get tangled up. But yeah, it's really quick, and I can just hover this streamer right in the rock piles, right along the bank, whatever I happen to be targeting there. And if it's a wider piece of water, just like I would throw my normal streamer, I'll just cast it out and strip it in. These rods can throw mono incredible distances. So if I want to reach out and hold it on that rock, that's a 50-foot cast. No problem. And then on this rock, for instance, I don't know if you can see it on the GoPro, but now I can hold that streamer. I can just put it right on the bottom, right behind that boulder. Finish it with a couple of twitches. Same thing, I see a log over there. I can just fire that thing. There's enough weight on that fly that I can just throw it right up along the bank and fish it like a conventional streamer rod. But where it is really good is dropping it into these little hidey holes, and then I can just hover it right on the seam. I don't have to strip it out. I can just walk that streamer right down those seams like that right there, and then it's instantly I can fire that thing back in. No false cast, nothing. A lot of fun. You could do this with stonefly nymphs, but I really like fishing it with jig streamers like that. We're gonna go back up to that little spot, and I'm just gonna hold that fly right under the brush pile. I don't want to strip it out of there too fast because I just get one quick look, and I'll strip it the rest of the way in. There's a fish. Soft take. Really soft take. Let's see what he's on. Oh, he's on that March Brown. All right. All right, we'll take it. Already unhooked. Look at that. That quick. Okay, there's another one. I switch flies a little bit. Now I'm fishing just 2 Perdigons. And this rod does fine with that. Like I said, if you're really into throwing a lot of big junk and streamers and stuff, this is a fine rod for doing that. Get him unhooked. And he is already unhooked. Look at that. I had to just finesse this thing. Hey, will you take this GoPro? Yeah, good fish. Really good fish. Yeah, it ate one of those little Perdigons, man. Yeah. Here, man, this is a big one. Yeah, that's a good fish. No, I took the squirmy off. The bead was just a little big, so I went to 2 small flies.
I know, I threw that, I tied that with intending like deep water.
All right, I'm gonna hand you a camera. It's live, it's fine. Okay. All right, so I switched up those 2 small flies, and we did the ground assault, which would be more classic for like kind of your DIY tightline angler. We have a lot of fun fishing streamers from the boat on these rods, but this is what it's all about right here. I got a heck of a rainbow on there. Oh, come on. Man, he is fighting. Oh man, that's a good fish. That's a good one, dude. So landing a big fish like this on like an 11-foot rod can be kind of hard to get him in the net because you only got so much bend. So one little trick is you can loosen up your drag, and now it'll basically free spin. I've got a drag that's way too light, but I'm gonna rub my fingers on it right there. And when I reach back to get him in the net, I can let this thing free spin ideally and actually get him in the net. Oh my gosh. That's why I'm starting to fish more heavier rods. I love my 2/8, but having some lifting power for these bigger fish is important. Come on. Oh, got him. And you can probably hear my drag start creaking out right there. Now, what fly did that fish eat? Beautiful. Ate that little Duracell nymph. Small nymph. Okay, we got him in the net. I'm gonna make this release. That was he's ready to go. He's trying to go out the bottom of the net. That is a chunky rainbow. Look at that, he even splashed the camera. Clean that up a little bit. I'll give you my thoughts. So I think you pretty well saw the review. But there is a little place in the quiver for a 4-weight. If you're serious about tight line nymphing, you want to throw streamers, jig streamers, be real active, have a strong enough rod where you could manipulate the streamer, but then also tie on 2 little Perdigon nymphs like these, and that rod will still cast these little itty bitties as well. It's a great rod at 500 bucks. There's kind of a price point there. Like I said, the only real letdown for me is I think the tube is cheap. They could upgrade that, but the rod performance itself, it's been super reliable. And then the other thing I'll add is you can actually buy spare tips for these rods, which I think is wise for anybody who's gonna have one rod to do it all. You don't wanna buy a backup. You can order a spare tip directly from TFO, put it in the sock, and then you've got tip insurance so that if you have a rod breakage in some wonderful faraway place somewhere, you can repair it right there on site just by plugging in that spare tip. You wouldn't travel without a spare tire, so spare tip is a good idea if you're gonna buy one rod and really focus on just using that one specific rod.